for you personally, and I know your mom and dad, they're phenomenal. You were born into privilege. I'm not talking money. You were born into a loving household that supported you unconditionally. But you also had parents that, like you and your brother, I taught both of you, you guys weren't throwing spitballs at the front of the class, which is
Yeah.
kind of laughable thinking about both of you. But you were both, so I want like the word emotional regulation. You were both emotionally regulated.
Mhm.
So can you talk about your upbringing in terms of what happened in your upbringing? What did your parents do right for you from, I'm just going to say from day one. We know that research wise. I don't want to put thoughts into minds, but we know from research this starts from day one, emotional regulation. So what they do for you that you had that early on?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely did grow up with a lot of privilege in every sense of the word. But I think one of the things is that my parents always supported the things that I wanted to do.
Hmm.
And not in the sense that they ever told me, like, because as we've talked about, I've wanted to go into medicine for a very long time. And when I would talk about these things as a kid, never once did they make it sound like I wasn't going to be able to achieve that. And so they always very much were supportive of the goals that I had, but not in the sense that they would make it seem like I could just walk up and do that. They would say, okay, you can definitely do that, but you know, you need to make sure you get good grades and you need to do
Hmm.
all these things. And so I think part of it was that they I always felt very much like my parents believed in me. Like I never
Hmm.
felt like I had to win their approval. I never felt like I had to win their support. Like that support was unconditional, but they were also always realistic about the things that I needed
Right.
to do. And same with like, you know, as a kid going to school, they were always, I never felt like they were going to be angry or disappointed if I didn't achieve the grade that they wanted or whatever it was. But I did feel that they would remind me of the work that I would have to put in to do that. So I think I always was supported in that way. In terms of emotional regulation,
Both
that
ways.
is
Can you define that? Like, what does that mean to you, emotional regulation?
I think emotional regulation to me doesn't mean that you're not like experiencing your emotions. I think it just means that you're able to temper how they come out and how you project them into the world, and the ability to like have big feelings but kind of put them on hold and like allow yourself to maybe process them later. And obviously, being in surgery, that's something that I have to do literally every single day. Like, I'm in emotionally charged situations with people that are critically ill, family members that are upset, people coming in on the worst day of their life to the hospital that I need to look after, and then taking care of them in very stressful situations where
Hmm.
people are, you know, you have to think quickly, work quickly, all of these things. And I think emotional regulation to me is, again, I am stressed in those moments and I am feeling all of the big feelings that are with that. But I think for me, emotional regulation is the ability to acknowledge those things and just kind of like put them on pause, not put them out into the world, and have a way to cope with them and process them when I can, not in a way that's going to be disruptive to my work or my life. I think what it really comes down to, again, is my parents' unconditional love and support,
Mm.
and the fact that they never made me feel that I was going to do something that would anger them or make them not care for me. And so I think that kind of creates a safe environment to like have feelings and to express them in like a healthy way when you know the people around you are gonna love you no matter what.
Hmm.
So I think part of it was just like I didn't grow up in an environment where I had to hide my emotions. Like I was allowed to experience them and express them and then kind of move
Hmm.
forward. So I don't think I developed any sort of negative, like from day one, I wasn't trying to repress my feelings or trying to not feel them. I was in a household that it was fine to feel however I was going to feel.
You had a safe haven and a secure base. That's attachment theory. That's so it's interesting that you brought that up first because I'm trying to dig into what was it? How is it that you're so emotionally regulated and you never got in trouble at school, by the way? You've identified connection first.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the very first thing that you've gone to talk to me about what happened on your upbringing before, like my parents, I got grounded. I got, whatever, the list of penalties that could go on and on. You just brought up everything about connection and safety.
Yeah, and I think also, I'm sure that there's a lot of kids who maybe have emotional outbursts at school because they might not be able to express their emotions in other environments. And I think for me, like if I did have a bad day at school, my parents would pick me up and I'd probably cry a little bit and then go home. And so I felt like there was somewhere that
Yeah.
I could go or a person that I could go to
Yeah.
feel what I was feeling.